spotlight is stolen by Daenerys' dragons. And that's what I'll be talking about in this video, as these dragons play a major role in this TV series. Welcome to the TV Regent, and today I'll be counting down the top 10 times where dragons played a major role in Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones till season 7 yet, I suggest you go see it first, and then watch this video. Before we begin, subscribe to the TV Regent and hit the bell icon to never miss my new uploads. Let's go! At number 10 is the scene where the audience saw the little beasts for the very first time. The last 2 episodes of Season 1 were filled with teasers for the upcoming seasons. And though some disturbing events took place like Eddard Stark and Khal Drogo's death, we couldn't wait to see what would come up next. One question that started haunting us fans was, what would happen to Daenerys? After the Khal's death, the Khaleesi had no purpose. But things took a turn when, at the time of Khal's funeral pyre, Daenerys decided to let the dragon eggs accompany him in the afterlife. Not only that, the Khaleesi herself stepped into the fire as it threatened to burn everything down. By morning, as the fire had burnt out, everyone was shocked to see the Khaleesi intact. The fire couldn't burn her. Additionally, the dragon eggs had hatched and out came 3 baby dragons. This event paved the way for Daenerys to become known as the Mother of Dragons and as the strongest queen there ever lived. At number 9, we have the House of the Undying. When the Warlocks of Qarth stole Daenerys' dragons and hid them in the House of the Undying, Lord Jon tried to persuade Khaleesi to leave the dragons behind and flee to Astapor with him to escape the coup that Xaro and the Warlocks were planning. But Dany would have none of it. She was adamant at not leaving her children behind. And so she decided to go to the House of the Undying to rescue her babies. Once inside, Pyat Pri, the sorcerer, chained her up with magic and professed that she would never be able to leave. However, with one chant of the ancient Valyrian command, Dracarys, the dragons breathed out fire to burn the sorcerer down and free Daenerys, who then freed her dragons and set sail for Astapor with them. And at number 8, another display of the power of Dracarys. To take over Westeros, Daenerys needed as large an army as she could find. So she arrived with her dragons at Slaver's Bay, hoping to acquire the army of the Unsullied. With nothing else to pay the slave masters, she offered them her largest dragon, Drogon, in exchange for all 8,000 of their Unsullied soldiers. However, when Slave Master Krasnys gave her the whip signifying ownership of the Unsullied army, she spoke Valyrian fluently and ordered her new army to slay all of the slave masters within the city. Daenerys then commanded Drogon with Dracarys to attack Krasnys, and he was consumed in a powerful jet of fire breath.
Dracarys.
The dragons then provided air support for the Unsullied as they sacked Astapor, burning more of the slave masters and their guards. At number 7, Daenerys chains up Viserion and Rhaegal. In Astapor, when Daenerys learnt that Drogon had burnt up a little 3-year-old girl thinking of her as food, she was deeply hurt and disappointed. It was then that she had to take a painful and harsh decision. And albeit, after a little hesitation, she did take it. She went to the catacombs with Viserion and Rhaegal, and while the dragons were oblivious to her intentions, she chained them down there and came outside, sealing their fate for a few weeks. Although she did it to protect the people of Astapor, she had tears in her eyes, since she was chaining up her children and leaving them alone in a dark and cruel place. The end of the scene saw the poor dragons screaming at their leaving mother, begging her not to go. At number 6, watch how Drogon rescues his mother from a stadium full of killers. This episode witnessed Daenerys visiting Rhaegal and Viserion after not seeing them for weeks. She soon saw that they had grown larger and more aggressive than they were before. Realizing that her children had turned against her, Daenerys had no choice but to keep her distance from them. When Ser Barristan was murdered by the Sons of the Harpy, Daenerys fed one of the Great Masters to her dragons to make an example. Later, when the Sons of the Harpy attempted to assassinate Daenerys during the Great Games at the Daznak's Pit, Drogon flew in to protect his mother. Despite being injured, the Black Dragon managed to kill many Sons of the Harpy, and then flew off north from the pit with Daenerys on his back. At number 5, Tyrion visits Daenerys' dragons.
Dragons do not do well in captivity.
How do you know this?
That's what I do. I drink, and I know things.
At Meereen, during a discussion between Tyrion, Varys, Grey Worm, and Missandei, Grey Worm brought this fact to everyone's notice, that the two locked-up dragons weren't eating well. At this, Tyrion, acting as the expert, proclaimed that this was because dragons don't do well in captivity. He talked of their intelligence and how locking them up had only led to their extinction in the past. After that, rather surprisingly for him, he and Varys visited the dragons, and as Tyrion faced them, he didn't leave his humor behind, asking the dragons not to eat the help.
I'm here to help. Don't eat the help.
He claimed before them that he was a friend of their mother and released them from their collars, paving the way for them to assist Dany in overtaking the Marine Masters.
Next time I have an idea like that, punch me in the face.
Up next at number 4, Daenerys commands Dothraki. This one was a rather powerful portrayal of the mighty Drogon. While Daenerys' Khalasar were riding to Meereen, while discussing her plans with Daario, Daenerys learned that she would need more than 1,000 ships to take all of her Khalasar to Westeros. And since nobody had that many ships, Daario and the rest of her fleet appeared to be losing hope. And right then, in a supreme show of strength, Daenerys reunited with Drogon, who had grown about double in size. As the Dothraki were still in awe of the beast, she rode on his back to further demonstrate her leadership strength to them. Afterward, Drogon fled Daenerys back to Meereen, which was being attacked by the Masters. At number 3, Daenerys and the dragons free Meereen from the slave masters. When a troubled Daenerys watched Meereen under attack by the slave masters, she knew she had to do something to display that no one needs a master. So at the meeting with the Marine Masters, when they started relaying the terms of surrender to Dany, she remarked that it wasn't going to be her who surrenders, but the Masters.
We're here to discuss your surrender, not mine.
Then, in a supremely powerful show of control, she summoned Drogon, who landed right beside her and allowed her to ride on his back. After the pair took flight, Rhaegal and Viserion broke out of the Great Pyramid to join their mother and brother in burning a few of the Masters' ships, leaving them no choice but to surrender before the mighty Queen. At number 2, Drogon burns the Lannister army. As the Dothraki army approached the Lannister army, Bronn appeared a bit shaken. Jaime assured him that they could hold them off, but no sooner had he said that did they hear the approaching shriek of Drogon with Daenerys on his back. one utterance of Dracarys, and Drogon had burnt down the defense line of the Lannisters like a house of cards. And though Jaime's archers tried their best to bring the dragon down, all their arrows could do was hit the massive beast like small boulders. And then they faced the wrath of Dragonfire. Eventually, Bronn brought out Qyburn's Scorpion and managed to shoot Drogon's shoulder, but didn't wound him fatally. Post the hit, as Drogon landed to recover, Jaime tried to kill Daenerys with a spear, but Drogon protected his mother by blasting Dragonfire straight at him. And finally, at number 1, we have the dragon saving Jon Snow. When Jon Snow and Ser Jorah set out on the White Hunt, they got stuck between the White Army. All seemed lost, but Daenerys with her dragons flew in just in time to burn down several White Walkers. While Jorah and Jon's party mounted Drogon with Daenerys. Not long after they arrived, however, the Night King was given an ice spear by another White Walker, who hurled it at Viserion, piercing straight through his neck in a fiery blast, fatally wounding him. This episode saw the sad demise of one of Dany's children, Viserion, as the helpless dragon shrieked in agony and dropped like a stone, crashing through the frozen lake and sinking beneath the waters. So, which moment was your favorite? Share your views in the comments section below. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and also contribute to my Patreon. The link is in the description box below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.